Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this product here today, and that is the Casinocade from Arcade1up. There's been, some controversy, some drama when this machine first came out, a few months ago with people saying, it was garbage, it was a waste of time, who would buy this, and blah, blah, blah. I just got mine on sale for the price of $450 with some Kohl's cash, which was the price that I was willing to pay for it. So I ended up getting it less than $400 because the Kohl's cash was like, I believe $90 or something like that. So I ended up getting it basically for $350 with that in mind. And that was a great price, as the usual price is $600. Now currently on sale when you guys are watching this video again for $500, but I got a great deal at $350 with this machine. And, that was the price I wanted to get it at. I wanted to get it for around $400, and with the Kohl's cash in it being $450, it was easy for me to jump in. But now that I have it, and I have it here in front of me, there's a lot to talk about. As you can see from the title of my video, there's been a lot of talk about this machine, and I definitely have some thoughts, so let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so we're first going to talk about the controversy surrounding this machine before I give you my overall and give you some gameplay and stuff like that on here and kind of show you around the cabinet. But first I want to, kind of point this out. In my opinion, when it comes to Arcade1up, you guys know, whoever watches my channel a lot, I have a lot of variety in my game room. And I don't just collect Arcade1ups, I don't just collect Legends Pinball, I don't just have real arcade machines, and I don't just have, other machines. I have a variety of everything because I like different things for different reasons. I like having variety in my arcade. When I have parties and people who come over, no one knows what the heck any of these machines are, except are they fun to play, and do they remind them of nostalgia? Do they remind them of certain things and stuff like that? That's all everyone cares about, is having fun together, playing playing when people come over, or hitting that nostalgic feeling and adding variety to their game room. In my opinion, Arcade1up is, when they were leaning in that direction, is doing a great job of introducing different products that may not be for everyone. I'm not saying everyone's going to want to buy the Casinocade, but there's definitely a target market out there that's not just the grandmas, like everyone liked to say when I saw those videos came out, or people who are only older and stuff like that, and nobody would ever buy this thing. I think that's kind of complete nonsense in my opinion. I think there's plenty of people out there who want to add variety out there into their game room. It's not just about having a lineup of arcade machines from Arcade1up or real machines and stuff like that. We want things like gumballs. We want things like coin pushers. We want things that add variety into the game room that's not just, because we saw those things when we went to the arcade. I just went to the arcade the other day. Those air hockey tables, there's coin pushers, there's all these different things that people want to add into their game room that add that variety. This is adding that variety into my game room, in my opinion. And not only is it adding variety to it, I think there's also that target market that people talked about. There's the moms out there, there's people who maybe like casinos. I wanted to give this to my grandmother for Christmas, to be honest, because of how much fun I'm having, which we'll get into. But obviously, it's not cheap, and I didn't buy two, obviously, when the price was cheap at Kohl's. So it's back up to at least $500 right now. But my grandma would love this because she loves going to the casino, and so does the rest of my family, and they would love having this. And we'll get into the reasons why people would want this in a minute. But I just think that whole idea out there that like nobody would want this, or Arcade1up isn't doing a good job, or why would they make this kind of mentality, is just complete nonsense. Not because I like the machine per se, or even if I didn't like the machine, but I think adding variety into the game room is what we always ask them to do, and I think this is just another one of those, just like they gave us the Infinity Game Table and some of the other products. I actually wish they did more of these. Of course, I still want their XL cabs. I still want, actually, I don't really want their XL cabs because I don't have room for them. I kind of want just deluxes, in my opinion. But that's just my personal preference. But either way, I want them to continue to make, obviously, arcade machines. That's what I want. But I also want them to sprinkle in some of these newer products that, change the game up. They made the Casinocade, they made the Infinity Game Table. Maybe they'll come out with a coin pusher, whatever they want to do, to give us more variety. As long as they do a good job with it, that's kind of what matters, and as long as it's fun. So the end of the moral of the story here at the beginning of this video is buy what you want. Don't let other people tell you what not to buy. If you think it's fun and you think it's for you, it may not be for you, but even if it's not for you, you don't need to go out there and tell people that, they're wasting their money, or, Arcade1up is doing a terrible job just because it doesn't fit my standards or what I want out of Arcade1up and all that nonsense. It may not just be for you, and that's perfectly fine. Not every product that comes out from a company is going to be for you, but I appreciate the variety in my game room, and even though the price was high when it came out, and that's why I didn't buy it until now. Now at the right price that I got it for, let's get into the actual overview to let you guys know my thoughts on this machine. All right, so here is the machine right here, getting a closer overview. So let's go ahead and talk about it. First of all, the build process on this was really the easiest Arcade1up I've ever built, because this top portion right here already came built. Like the screen, the speakers, everything was already there. The buttons, everything was done. I had to slap this on top, of course, with a couple of screws, and then build the base on the bottom, which didn't take very long, especially compared to other Arcade1ups. So really easy build process, really easy slim profile. It fit, and thank God, because where I put it, if it wasn't slim, I wouldn't have been able to get it. This is the only spot I had, because, you know, as you can see, you want obviously walkway for people to walk by, and I have the pinball machine right there and the Star Wars machine right there. So if this came out as much as a regular Arcade1up did, it would have made it a little bit more crowded. So the fact that it was slim to the wall made it an easy choice to be able to get it. The actual unit and the way it looks, I think, is awesome. Obviously themed to Wheel of Fortune. You have the gold right here. The gold trim, I think, looks fantastic. I think the side art looks really good. Nothing washed out about it or anything. Looks really good from both sides here, as you can see. Really, really nice the way that they built that together with the gold trim. I actually like the gold Arcade1up in the front. I think that looks really slick as well. And here are the buttons, obviously. As you can tell, it's on standby right now. You have all the lights and the flashes. We'll talk about that more throughout the gameplay, but the lights and the flashing, as you can see here, are really cool, how everything lights up, including the I'd like to solve a puzzle and the Wheel of Fortune there. The speakers are the best that Arcade1up has ever put into a machine that I've ever touched. That is for sure, because you know, the speakers are loud. They sound good. Like I said, they're the loudest speakers I've ever used on an arcade machine, on an Arcade1up machine, I should say, and they sound really, really good. So whatever speakers they're using here, they need to use in more machines, because they sound fantastic. The marquee looks good. Obviously, as you can see here, light it up there. Looks really good in my opinion. Really finishes off the Wheel of Fortune look with the machine, and I think this machine stands at a really good height. I'm 6 foot. And the machine kind of, this is where my head is at 6 foot, so I'm a little bit taller than the machine, so you kind of get an idea of where that is. Obviously, it has 2 touchscreens, and this is another pain point that a lot of people talked about. I'll talk about it more throughout the gameplay, but I do think the screen size is a lot better than I expected. A lot of people were saying it was way too small. How are you going to play a screen like this with touchscreen games? I think it's great. And obviously, you know, I would have loved to have a bigger screen. Who doesn't want a bigger screen? But this is a 10-inch screen at the bottom. This is the touchscreen portion. We all know how much touchscreens cost. If they went from a 10-inch to like a 17-inch screen or something that was touchscreen, how many 17-inch screens do you guys know out there that are touchscreen that are going to be able to be put into this machine and still be relatively low cost? And then you wouldn't have these cool light effects on the side. So, and they wanted to keep this profile. So honestly, the 10-inch screen is perfectly fine by me. Obviously, if they could have figured out a way to still do the lights and have a bigger screen, obviously I would have been for it. But then the price would have increased even more. They're already selling this for $600. I would have never paid, you know, $800 for this machine if it was exactly like this with a bigger screen. That'd been even worse. I didn't even want to pay the $6. That's why I waited till it went down to $4. So even though it would have had a bigger screen, you know, it would have been nuts. So I think they probably went with the right decision if that price point is what they needed to stick to. Even though we've all would have liked a bigger screen. We'll talk about it more while I show you some of the games and how it actually looks on there. Then we got the second screen right here, as you can tell, and we'll see that being used in some of the games, and I think that's really cool that they have a second screen up there, because that's how a lot of casino games usually are, is that they kind of go up and, you know, they show you stuff at the bottom, and then when you hit jackpot or you're going for a bonus, it kind of goes to the top. So show that throughout the gameplay. While it's sitting on standby mode here, I do like, if I raise the volume here, this is my opinion, of course, I do like that, like, it's making all the lights and the sound effects like a real casino machine does while you're kind of, so when people come by it, they gravitate towards it. And I also like that you can also hear, like, the people talking a little bit in the background as if it was in a real casino. Like, you hear the chatter and stuff from the folks. I thought that was a pretty nice touch as well. Lower it here a little bit so it's not super loud while we're talking. But yeah, I think that stuff is really cool. And I think the machine is built really, really well. It feels really sturdy. I like the buttons. They all light up and everything, as you can see here with the spin and the buttons here. You got the power off and the light up button there. So I think overall the machine and the quality of the machine is really high. And I love all the effects that it has on it. But let's go ahead and talk about the actual touchscreen and some of the games on here and why this machine is really cool. All right, so here on this machine, there's a couple of things that I want to bring up that I think are really cool. So first of all, why would you buy, why, for a lot of people kept saying, why would you play a casino game where you don't actually win real money? What would exactly be the point of that, is what most people are saying. Well, I would argue that obviously for people who obviously like gambling money, this might not be for them. I don't like gambling money. That's why I never go to casinos unless if I go with my family and I just watch them, because I have a lot of other things that you guys know I buy in this game room. I don't need to be spending money by losing it in 5 seconds on a gambling machine. But I still like playing games, and it's still a fun idea. I'm just not going to blow my money that quickly. So it's never been for me. So what's the next step for that, in my opinion, if I still like the slots machines and stuff, but don't want to actually spend real money? Well, to me, it's leaderboards. And I think that is, they did it in a really cool way on here, where each of these games, as you can see here on the touchscreen, has their own leaderboard. So you can see here on some of them, you can see here, I'm on this leaderboard, 82,000. You got this one here, 255,000. And they have a leaderboard for every single game on here, which is awesome. And it tells you what the top score is and how many aces high you got in that game, high score on this one. So every single game has a leaderboard that you can compete in. And that's the whole point of video games, in my opinion. So I look at this as a video game slot machine. Maybe not necessarily exactly like a casino, even though it fills that same itch for those people who like a casino at home. But obviously, instead of competing for money, you're competing for the high score. And I think that's very viable. I think some of the reasons that I own some of these Arcade1up machines to begin with, instead of just playing them on MAME, is because they have these leaderboards and stuff like that, or because they have online multiplayer sometimes. So I think that's something that a lot of people kind of overlook, and I think that that's something that a lot of people, drive towards. There's still so many people out there that literally play a video game just because they want to be the number one on the leaderboard, or just because they want to beat their friends on the leaderboard. So yes, you're not winning real money on here, but I think the incentive of doing the leaderboard stuff is a pretty good secondhand idea instead, when you're obviously not going to win real money on here. Now, speaking of another thing that's really cool is, and another controversial point that a lot of people didn't like, that I actually do like, is that the game comes with 4 games. They're the main slot machines that are sitting on top. It's the bonus cards, the big wheel spin, puzzle mania, and free spin mania. And then you see playground games sitting here at the bottom right here. And these are 20 different games that are on here currently. And from what it says on their website, which is pretty exciting that I haven't seen anyone talk about, it says that more games are going to be coming soon, unless if their website's lying to us. But that's what it says on this machine, is that they expect to add more games. So that's going to be awesome if that's the thing that happens. But the way that it happens is that these 20 games, when you first get the machine, are locked out. And what do you have to do to get them is by getting these gems that you see here on the top corner, these green gems. And how you get gems? Well, just by playing games and getting high scores, and then you get certain gems as you play games, and then you use those gems to basically unlock the game. And each of these games that you have on here, are 40 gems to actually unlock. And I've been playing for about 2 hours or so with the machine, and I've unlocked 2 games so far. So that's kind of the rate that you could expect. But I think it's really cool because it gives you an incentive to basically play the games. And I know some people were like, oh, I can't believe the 20 games aren't unlocked when you get the machine, when I paid for the machine. Guys, that's not the point. I mean, this is a casino slot machine. It wants to give you an incentive on what to unlock next. And you have the leaderboards and you have a game, and now you can, you start with 4, and it's like you're looking forward to unlocking the other games and stuff like that, and seeing what they're like. And I think that's really cool. Obviously, video games of old, back in the day, there was always a secret to unlock, or sometimes extra game modes to unlock. So I'm perfectly fine with it. It's not like they're charging you. I can understand if they were microtransactioning you and they were trying to charge you for to unlock them faster, or any of that nonsense that sometimes exists in video games. But that's not what it is here. It's just a cool way to, have the whole system kind of integrate with each other to give you, hey, I want to play these games. I'm not playing for money. What am I going to do with these gems or these coins that I unlock? Well, you got the leaderboards and you got the gems to unlock more games. So I think it's really cool, and it gives me an incentive to kind of turn the machine on all the time, besides just for leaderboards. So my opinion, that was cool. And then you have a daily spin, which unfortunately I can't show you because I already unlocked it for today. But basically a daily spin is just a wheel of fortune that you actually spin off, and then it gives you either gems or money and stuff like that. And what's really cool is that only in that spin, if you're really, really lucky, you can actually win the global jackpot. So that's a global jackpot that everyone has access to, that somebody wins when they spin the wheel sometimes, if they land on it. You can see right now it's sitting at 79 gems and 10 million coins if you actually get it. So that's a global jackpot. And then they have a leaderboard for that global jackpot to see how many times, how high someone's won it. So you can see. That's really cool, because then every time you win the global jackpot, you can see who has won it most times and all that kind of stuff. So I think they kind of thought out this machine. They could have easily just slapped four games on here and said that these are the slot machines that you have and called it a day. But I think they went above and beyond that. I think they thought about it. They were like, hey, let's add a daily spin to get people to kind of turn on their machines every day and have a reason to do it, to get some more gems and stuff. Hey, let's create leaderboards for every single game so it gives people an incentive to turn it on. Hey, let's give these guys 20 games to unlock so they have a reason to keep turning their machine on. Let's do a global jackpot. All these kind of things that kind of are cool for people who like these games, in my opinion, and make the game that much more fun to kind of continue playing. So I really hope that their website is correct and they're going to continue to add more playground games on here to give us an incentive to keep unlocking them. I think that would be awesome. That's what their website says. Don't know if it's true. I've never heard them say that there was going to be additional games coming, but that's what their website says. So we'll see what happens in the future. But regardless, what's here? All right, so like I said, I've unlocked 2 other games on here. The touchscreen so far has been pretty responsive. I haven't had really any issues with the touchscreen working on here or anything like that as I play these games. But let's go ahead and show you how some of these games actually work and how they look. So Big Wheel Spin is obviously one of the games here. So the game starts up here, as you can see, and then it tells you to insert coins. So how does this work? How do you get on the leaderboards? Because obviously you can just keep adding infinite money, obviously, and that would make the game useless if you can keep adding infinite money and then just keep getting on the leaderboard. So that's what I was thinking of. How'd they do it? So this is what they did. When you hit coin in, you basically get 30,000 coins or money. And that's what you're playing with. And there's something here, it's a little tiny, so I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, but it says session points. So anytime you win, you're trying to, that's how much money you won during this session with the $30,000 that you started with. Once the $30,000 hits 0, then your session points end, and the session points is what your points are on that leaderboard. So, for example, if I start off with 30,000, I'm going to go ahead and bet the max here. On this particular game here, you're trying to hit the spin. So if you get 3 spins, you get to play the bonus round. And you obviously also get coins in other ways by playing this. And all of these also have a help menu as well. So you can hit this little button right here, and it shows you like the payouts and stuff. And it will tell you what the reels do and the payouts for all the different things that they pay out, which is really cool. So you can see what that is, and then you can adjust settings and stuff like that if you want to as well. So yeah, we can go ahead and hit spin here. Like I said, I really like all the sound effects and everything that this thing kind of makes. I'm going to raise this a little bit higher so you guys can hear it, but I think it works just like a slot machine. I showed this to a couple of my family members. There you go. That's how it comes up when you win. And I love you could also turn this off in the settings. I'll show you guys that after we get out of this game, but you can turn these lights off if they kind of bother you and stuff, but I think it really ties the machine really well, and it makes the machine that much more fun. We're not going to play a full round of this. I kind of just want to show you the bonus round so you see both screens. Oh, here we go. Oh, we got 2, and it's going crazy. We're going to get a 3rd. There we go. Wheel of Fortune. I love how it screams wheel, and then if you get the second one, and then fortune if you get the 3rd one. And then you can see all the lights go crazy when you hit the bonus here, which I think is great for interactivity. And then basically in this particular game, you basically spin the wheel, and then you can look at the top. And then you actually have to basically get one of these. And you keep going, getting the points that you get. So now I got 40,000. And you keep going until you hit a lose a turn. So you keep spinning until you land on one of those lose a turns. And then you win everything that you get. So there's another 30. Keep spinning on here. And I just got to lose a turn that quickly. Terrible. So now I win whatever I got there. You can see 70,000 is what I won. And you win a little bit more because you actually win for also hitting the lines as well, so maybe a little bit more than 70 usually. Yeah, it's usually a little bit more because you obviously won the lines as well. But so yeah, now instead of having obviously the 30,000 that we started with, of course I just won all that money. Now I'm at 77,000. So now I'm playing with 77,000, but the session points is actually at 82 because that's what I've won during the session. So that's what I get on the leaderboard as you do that. So we're not going to play a full entire game here because it's going to take a while to actually lose. But you guys get the idea. You're trying to get that many session points and get them as high as possible. I'm going to go ahead and exit and go back to lobby here. And go back to the main menu. So like I said, the machine comes with 4 different slot machines on here. So you guys saw that one there. One of the other ones that it comes with is bonus cards. And the idea on this one is very similar. On this one as well, where you're basically trying to you know, get those session points that I just talked about on here. And the way that this one works is the bonus round is obviously what stands out. You're still trying to do the, you know, connecting the slots and everything. But on this one, when you do the bonus round, you get these cards in front of you, and you basically have to touch each card, and you get a certain amount of points. And then as soon as you touch an actual wedge, then the amount of points that you got stops, and then it spins on the top, shows the wheel spinning like Wheel of Fortune, and then it says like either 8 times, 6 times, 7 times, 1 times, 2 times, and that's how much you win multiplied by the amount that you got on all the cards that you got during that round. So that's how that bonus round works on there. It's pretty simple. They're kind of all reminiscent of the same flavor. Same thing with this one. On this one here, you guys have probably seen this one at a casino with the bonus style, where when you collect a spin, if you get 3 spins in a row, then you get bonus spins, and you get 15 free spins, so you don't have to use your money, and then you get 15 free spins, and then you get all the money that you collect during there. Very reminiscent of a lot of those free spin ones that you see, you know, at casinos and stuff. I've seen them all the time. So they kind of have a good variety of the 4 slot machines on how they actually work, where I think like, hey, this one works like this, and it does that with the slot machine, and it kind of, each one reminds me of a bonus game that I've seen at a casino before. This one with the free spins, and they interact with the top screen a lot, and I really like that, and I like the way that the lights interact with all of them. I think they did a good job, you know, with that. And then the third one here, I am going to show you, or sorry, the fourth one here, I am going to show you, because it's probably the most interesting one out of all the ones on the machine, because it actually feels the most like Wheel of Fortune, even though it is still combining the slots at the same time. But I do think it's really cool with the way that it combines the idea of playing Wheel of Fortune and slots at the same time. So again, the variety on these 4 games that are in here to start with, I think are really good, and they definitely each have a feel of a casino game, and the bonus games really do have a idea of what these bonus games are like in the casino. So this one here, you're actually solving a puzzle, as you see here, just like you would in Wheel of Fortune. So you start your 30,000 like usual, and you hear the iconic sound there that you guys are used to. First thing you do is you spin the wheel, and that selects which category you're actually going to have here. So we got before and after. Not exactly sure what that means. I'm probably not going to get the puzzle anyway. I'm terrible at them. But 40,000 if you get the puzzle correct, as you guys are seeing here. So what happens here is that you have 3 minutes on the clock to solve this puzzle. And you also have to spin this, and then that's how you get your your random letters, and then the letters fill on there. And then if you want to buy a vowel, you need to collect these gems on here, which you guys will see. And then you use 2 gems to basically buy a vowel up there. And then you actually solve the puzzle by clicking up here. Again, you have to do it in under 3 minutes or before you run out of money. Of course, if you run out of money, then game over as well. So we got nothing on that. Oh, we did get 1 gem. Sorry. So we got 1 gem, so we need 2 to buy a vowel. Good amount of winnings there. There's another gem, so that's great. So you can see we have 2 gems there at the bottom. So now what we can do is we can buy a vowel. Let's say we do A. There we go. We got some A's in there. We can spin this again. Nothing. Except for that 1 gem again. 1 gem. And we got nothing here. So we only have, I'm actually going to minus this to 1,000. We only got $2,000 left before we're going to fail out of this puzzle. We haven't gotten any good letters coming out of here yet. No random letters for us still. Definitely haven't hit. Oh, we finally got a K. And there is a K on the board. And we did get a big win, so that's awesome. Very nice. We needed that. But we're still working against the clock. Now the clock does pause, of course, when it's going through this cycle here. But we needed that to be able to continue here. No D's or K's. That's why you hear that sound, that there's no letters on there for that. Another big win. Problem is we're still running against the clock. No matter how much money you win here, it's not going to help against the clock. Because you still need to figure out this puzzle regardless. Now we do have another vowel that we can buy. We got 3 gems, so I'm going to go ahead and buy an E. I'm also pretty terrible at coming up with these puzzles, so I probably should know this by now. Before and after, I have no idea. What is that? You guys are probably screaming at the screen right now telling me what it is. We do have another chance to buy another vowel. Oh, we got an N out of there too. We got an O. And I'm still terrible. We got an S. Again, like I said. And there's no more vowels to buy because we have all the vowels in the puzzle that is actually there. So you would think I know this by now, but I don't. So here we are. Especially when I'm trying to think while also recording this video for you guys, doing a terrible job of trying to do both at the same time. I don't know if this is right, but I'm just going to hit solve because we got 35 seconds left just to show you guys. So I'm going to say Emma Stone, walk away. Don't know if that's it. Hey, we got it. Let's go. I figured it had to be that, but I'm not exactly sure what Emma Stone walk away means. Maybe I'm just stupid, which is possible. But because like I said, I'm terrible at puzzle games. But that's how it works. And now you have all that money to continue and trying to solve the next puzzle, and then you kind of spin the wheel to do the next puzzle. So I think it's really cool because it kind of incorporates both, you know, a slot machine type thing, but also lets you keep playing puzzles and stuff. Kind of keep it interactive and stuff. So this is my favorite out of the 4 slot machine ones when I'm in the mood to try and figure out these puzzles that I'm terrible at. And I like that they have all these different categories and stuff. So I think they did a good job with this one as well. And I love the iconic sound there. We got 90 seconds now, so we got 90 more seconds. So we don't get the full 3 minutes back, so you only got 90 seconds to solve the next one, depending on how much time you wasted. But cool stuff. Now, if we go back to the lobby here, I did want to show you the games at the bottom. Let me go ahead and grab the camera here. Let's lower the volume a little bit. So the games that actually get unlocked that I was talking about before here, let's see. We got Gumdrops, we got Solitaire, Mahjong, Sudoku, Wordplay, we got some poker stuff. We got Bingo, Craps, Roulette, Triple Card Poker, Deuces Wild, Word Rebel, Blackjack, of course, Fruit Burst, and Photo Hunter, which is a good one. That's the one where you compare 2 pictures and see which one is different. That's the next one I'll be unlocking. But let me just show you guys, because a lot of people said, hey, is the touchscreen going to be big enough? Is it too small? And that kind of thing. Well, I can tell you guys that I'm sitting here on the chair right now. It's a perfect height for sitting on one of the stools that they have. You're right in front of the touchscreen. And Blackjack, obviously, is the first one I unlocked because I knew it was going to be the hardest to see if there was going to be an issue because you're playing with cards. And I could, yes, is the screen, obviously, could we want a bigger screen? I've already talked about this. Yeah, of course, you could want a bigger screen. But that doesn't mean that there's an issue, you know, playing with this screen here. I could see these 9s and 9s very easily. I can hit the buttons if I want to without any issues or anything like that. I did win that pot, so that's awesome. I think I lowered the volume a little bit too much and you can't hear anything. I was like, I thought there was volume in here. And in this game, 300 is the max bet. But yeah, you're playing Blackjack on here. Like I said, there's no issue with seeing the cards or anything like that. And if I could see this one, I'm sure all their other games are going to be fine. But yeah, I mean, like I said, is a touchscreen. The touchscreen is a perfectly fine size in my opinion. I think people who actually own it probably all agree. I think the people who didn't own it were the ones saying like, oh my God, it's only 10 inches. It's still the size of an iPad. Some of the iPads out there that, you know, the 10-inch screens were on. And we got 2 screens here. We got the top and the bottom. And I think, like I said, the fact that there's lights on the side to kind of make it cool looking and stuff like that, I think is really cool. So I have no issue with the 10-inch screen playing these games. And even my family who has seen it didn't really have any issues either when I showed it off to them. Like I said before that I forgot to show off, in the settings you can turn off the display panels. So you can turn off the lights just like that. Immediately the lights will turn off. Turn off the sound effects. You can turn off the background noise that I talked about with the people talking and stuff, which I kind of like. You can turn off the attract sounds if you want to. You got the Wi-Fi settings there. You can factory reset it right from there as well. So you got some of that stuff you can turn off if you want to, but I love the lights. I think that's what kind of makes this machine cool and will make people kind of walk up to it when they see it. So let's go ahead and wrap up my final thoughts on this video and what I think about this machine. Alright guys, so as my full thoughts on the Arcade1up Casinocade here, and like I said, and like you guys probably guessed, I kind of love this machine. I think this is going to be one of the most played machines in my house. I don't know how many of you guys have watched my tours before and watched me on this channel for other stuff I do, but I also have a Mega Touch. If you guys are not familiar with Mega Touch and the JBL machines, they're the bar machines that were kind of touchscreen devices that used to be in bars before iPads were a thing. And I have 2 of those upstairs, and they get the most use out of my house because people love touchscreen games. They love coming up to screens and just playing games on them. And this is kind of that, but for the casino crowd, more slot machine type games and stuff like that. And some of the other games that they have on here. I think this is going to be one of the most used cabs in my house when my family comes over, specifically because people are going to see the fancy lights, they're going to hear the sounds that they know and love from Wheel of Fortune, and they're going to get addicted to just trying to get on the leaderboard and hit the slots and stuff. And I think they're going to have a really fun time, and I think I'm going to have a really fun time playing this as well, because even though I'm not a person who likes to gamble money, like I talked about, I love playing for leaderboards. I love having fun, and I love competing on, on leaderboards and stuff like that. And I love the way that it looks. I think the build quality is fantastic. The speakers are the best I've heard on any Arcade1up machine that I've ever had. The lights are the best I've seen on any Arcade1up machine. Everything goes together really well. The touchscreen works really well. I haven't had any issues with the touchscreen not working, not being responsive or anything like that. It works really well, responsive, really bright screen. Not any issues with any like side viewing or anything. No washouts or anything. Having the top screen, sometimes interacting with the games, especially with the slot machines, is awesome, and it's a lot of fun. Brings some of that fun factor that you see in the slot machines in the casinos. And it stands at a perfectly good height, in my opinion. I think it's a great height for this machine, and I love the slim profile of it, and the games that are on here are great. The only thing I hope that they do is add more games to it, like they say on their website, like I talked about. I hope that that's really true. To keep us unlocking more games and stuff. We'll see. I did also forget to mention in the overview that the other things you could do with the coins that you win and the gems is also the avatar functionality. So right here on the top corner, you can actually change your avatar in the game, as you guys are looking at here. You probably can't see from that far away, but there's all these different avatars that you can actually unlock, and each one is a tier. So tier 1 to tier 8, tier 9, and each one you actually unlock. Some of them you can only win with the daily spin, so that's pretty cool that you can have certain avatars only by the daily spin, so you can kind of show that off. Some of them you unlock with the actual gems and stuff. So just another way to use your gems, even after you unlock the games. There's some rare, rare avatars and stuff that you can actually get to kind of show yourself off on the leaderboard in that fashion. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. So I think they really thought of a really well thought out system. Whether the machine's for you or not, it's a whole entire different story. But as far as the machine goes, the build quality, the sound effects, the sounds, the light ups, and the games that are on here, the whole thought out process of having like a daily spin, each game having a leaderboard, the daily jackpot to keep you entertained, all that kind of stuff, the way the gems interact with the games, the touchscreen and everything. I think they did a really good job of having a Casinocade in here, and I'm glad that they're going down this road. Again, I want to see them continue going down the road of obviously making arcade machines, but I would love for them every once in a while to make something out of the realm and different to add into our arcade rooms. Make a coin pusher next. I don't know, whatever you guys want to do. I think this is awesome, and I'm glad to have it a part of my room now. Would I have paid $600? No, that's not the price I wanted to pay for one of these. I wanted to pay around $400, and I ended up getting it for $350 instead after the Kohl's cash and everything. So super, super happy with it. And if you guys are interested, but you're afraid of the negative reviews, I think you're going to love it when you see it, just like me, because I was kind of turned off by the negative people who were talking, but most of those people don't even own the thing. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. And like, again, buy what you want, buy what you like, don't care about what anybody else thinks. That's obviously what the motto is. I love these machines because they add variety into my game room. When people come over, I don't want just 20 Arcade1ups lined up in a row that are all the same exact style and all the same exact look. I want some Arcade1up machines. I want an infinity game table. I want Casinocades or casinos in general. I want real machines in certain areas. I want these other machines that do different things. I want cocktail cabinets that are different form factors. The pub style table that adds a different form factor, that you can play all these games in a variety of different ways. And it really, when people come over, they're like, this is really cool. I like this game room because it has different things going on and different ideas and different items in here, not just a slab of the same style arcade machines all in a row. So that's why I love different. If I do have Arcade1ups, I love that they're all different with unique controls and all that kind of stuff that I've talked about, because I like these machines like that to have different unique controls, different styles, and different art. But anyway, that is my long ramble on this machine, guys. If you guys are interested, I would definitely recommend it. They did a really good job, in my opinion, across this whole entire cabinet. If it's something you're looking to add into your game room, I think you guys are going to be happy with it, especially if you can get it on a deal like I did. So, guys, if you guys have any questions, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.